In this video, I'm going to be talking about a level that I developed as part of a new SM64 collaboration known as the Dog Collab. Now, if you haven't played it, I'll be putting a link in the description. It is a very large 73-star hack, and it's got a lot of great ideas, one of which is the hair-raising high-rise, which is the level I designed. Now, since this level basically took 1.5 years from start to finish, I thought I would just go over a lot of the ideas that went into it and their justification for existence, and also take a look behind the scenes of the development process of the hack, the level, etc. So, if you've played Dog Collab, you know what the hair raising high rise is. Probably your favorite course or your least favorite course in the game. But if you don't know, I designed it as an interactive level that took place in a city and was designed to use the companion dog as much as possible. A lot of the modeling choices were deliberate to meet this vision, and everything in this minimalist level was put there for a reason, either something that would help the hack or something that the fictional building manager of the high rise in the canon lore would have thought was a great idea, even if it actually wasn't. So, in July, a bunch of ROM hackers decided to come together and basically start a collab hack. And it was asserted that it would not fail because at this time there was a bit of a collab fever in which a bunch of collaboration hacks were being started, and a lot of them would not make it to completion. So this one was decreed as the one that would not fail. And so a basic theme was decided, and people could submit levels to it. And the main point of these general details is that the dog companion must be in the level in some fashion. So I decided that I wanted to make a level in which this point would be maximized. So I opened my notes app and I drew just a building because I had one star idea basically fleshed out already, which was running up a few flights of stairs. And from there, I started getting more ideas that would just basically be mundane tasks that you would do in your everyday life if you were living in a tall building like this. And it would be translated to Mario 64, and somehow this would create an interactive level by the end of it through magic. So, some more lore. It was initially based off some real life experiences I had living in a tall building, including going up 15 flights of stairs, which was fun, but there was no ventilation in that stairwell, and I was only happy doing that in the winter. So here is my initial level pitch. This was the first one submitted. It was an apartment building at the start of it, and this would eventually just be a general tall building. A lot of it would just take place on the first 3 floors, and what's important is that 4 out of the 6 star ideas are part of the final product. Star 2 was a little bit of a filler star that I hadn't figured out yet, and Star 6 would eventually find its use in a later part of the hack. So I'd also been working on a bit of extra projects around this time, some of which all had this overarching theme of the camera being my tool that I would program and create these sort of visual experiences. So you can see I made this hack in the bottom left. It was, I don't have video footage of it, but it basically had a rotating camera to better showcase the area. It had an indoor scene in there and a room system, and it was basically just me seeing what was possible with a camera. Over here we have ROM Simulator, which was a Mario Jam hack that I developed with a fixed camera angle. And then we have K-On 64, which was basically a mesh of those two, where I tried to create a full hack that had some cool camera features, which were received with mixed reviews, but overall it just created a sense of something that would be possible with a camera in the future. So I knew my level had to have a camera at some point, and the option was the then new puppy camera, which was an easier to program system than what Nintendo had originally programmed. I've been on this slide for too long, let's move on. So here we have an actual level concept made basically 3 months after the initial level idea. So I had a template for outside of the building, which has 3 floors from the looks of it. And then the lobby area in the middle over here. Let me move my cursor. And then a template of what a floor would look like. This little hallway down here. And a big empty blank canvas where something would happen and you'd get a star. And this is basically as mundane as it gets for a gameplay loop, but it was something. Now, I did actually complete Acts 1 and 2. So here's video footage of Act 1. The toad would automatically talk to you, and this dialogue has been there for quite a bit. It was supposed to be placeholder, considering it's been here for 1.5 years, and it was a very forced story as to why you were collecting 2 things that would allow the front desk toad to let you and your dog in. But yeah, this text box was broken, but the star worked. It just needed fleshed out, like where the collectibles would actually go and their models. And not soon after, I actually came up with an idea for Star 2, which really showcased the interactivity of the level. You would push couches, you'd get a secret, and then the dog would start running to another couch to eat it and destroy it. And you were supposed to prevent that from happening. So it was sort of like a dynamic between you, the interactable player, the couches which are interactable, and the dog which is interactive. It's sort of like a 3 entity, I don't know the word for it, but it was sort of like, it was very interactive. I'll just say that. And another tidbit you could see is that the dog was huge before the final product, because I guess this was the size of the Wii Sports dog canonically, but enough people complained that it was too big of a dog that eventually it was just made smaller to better fit Mario's proportions. What did I even put on my next slide? Ah, yes. So by November 2021, I was ready to continue working on this star, maybe do the floor 4 where the pool needed to be drained, but N64 Brew had other ideas in which they would start a game jam, and I had felt very confident that I could submit something to this one. And so that was the start of basically me doing a whole bunch of other things that were not this collab, and also a bunch of unexpected problems that were a result of it. And I'll be talking about all those in part 2. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you. That was an awful outro. Come back tomorrow to see. I'm not promising tomorrow. Come back when I post the next one. You'll get a better outro.